And we're back to another episode of Let's Play Lord of the Rings The Third Age. I'm your host, the RPG Guy, and we are making our way through the city of Snowbourn. And, yeah, slowly getting to where we want to be, but like all things, it takes time. So we're going to head up this way. And Morwen gets the Third Age Morgul Iron Piercing Axe. And before she really gets any more significant armor, but she hasn't really been getting significant armor, she gets freaking better weapons. No benefits there. 1 strength. 29 versus times 25. Yeah, it's better axe. Of course, we're going to put a better axe on a person who's pretty much our glass cannon. Kinda. I mean, technically you could argue that Hadhod is, but Hadhod doesn't get as many turns, which makes him more of just a giant, beat up kind of tank. He's really just like a giant tank, and every time he gets a turn, his turns are pretty beastly. Now we're getting delicious enemy counterattacks. And he's down. Keep moving. Elagos is finally about to level. Yeah. To be fair, we haven't really been using him. The enemies just hit so hard, and the fact that he's been missing with flash arrows has been a mild bit of concern. There are uses for him, but they're a little bit more drawn out right now, because we really just need the high damage output. His usefulness will come back. If anybody's wondering why I'm not using him, it's just, right now, it's not helpful. The flaws that he has are not helpful right now. You see, there's a lot of this going on where we're missing. Every once in a while we run into a battle where constantly characters are missing. And they have high accuracy, so I'm wondering, trying to figure out what's led to this conundrum of weirdness. But what are you going to do? Until you figure it out, that is. She's got wounds on her. Let's just take her out. We'll put in Elagos. He needs some battle time. So I'm going to take that out. And then... boom! There's targeted strike. Which is good. That means we can get him going towards his next skill. Levels for many. Third Age Galadriel, Galadrian Pendant of Restoration. Again, still nothing for Morrowind. Three speed, 7 spirit. But she gets a few other stats, more armor, and resistance to earth. That gives her resistance to slash, pierce, and blunt. We'll see. We'll give it to her anyway. Should be fine. You know what? I forgot to change Barithor's skill, didn't I? Ooh, that's gonna suck. All of those does have a use in this fight. If it lives long enough to even achieve it. Okay, axe craft. Right away, this dude's gotta die. And he won't. I don't think Hadhot will kill him. Yeah, he'll almost kill him, but he does. He never seems to actually kill on that dude. That's bowcraft. No, rangercraft. Flash arrow. See if we can take out the minions. Now, this will prevent him from attacking. And so now he'll just waste turns doing this nonsense. Morrowind will just take damage, so we'll bring in Idriel. And let's do with... looking for Loudwater Fury. There we go. Some way to solve your problem. That doesn't help me at all. Try again. For the love of all that's holy, hit the dude. There we go. About freaking time. Only took 3. Really quick. I don't care about counterattack yet. Will this pick up stunning... make me do stunning strikes before we do Gondorian Rampage? Alright. Not much you can say or do about that, other than that's the way the cookie crumbles in that case. Oh, nice. Finally, some armor for Morrowind. And it gives her only 5. Game just wants me to suffer. It knows that giving me something decent would actually make me happy, would bring me some sort of mild happiness. As we now have the luxury of running our goofy asses all the way around this area. And so here we go. Not much of a reason to backtrack. Unless you want to hit up that save point and you really are hurting. You wouldn't make it, probably. But at least you'd only have the one random encounter you'd have to worry about. You can see we're finally now getting somewhere. A quest to the Great Horror. Anything else here other than bad frame rate? Alright, let's make a save, because as usual, guys, saving is your friend.
We are trapped once again.
But now the worm is here with us. Tell me, Grima, why do you betray your kind? Is it for wealth, power, subservience to Saruman?
That is a lie. Saruman the White has ever been our friend and ally.
His voice saps the will. He used it to gain entrance.
Yes, he obeys my will. You do not, Gondorian.
Fell sorcery works here, my friend.
Perhaps if I slay your servant, I shall find my freedom.
As long as he doesn't go full Chucky voice on us. Now, we do have some really nasty Urduks here. And I do mean they are quite nasty. I'm going to open up with Flash Arrow. And probably Pierce Spirit next time he gets a chance. Unless we got to pull him. Missed one of them. That doesn't help at all. Never haste herself. So I think Grima can possibly dispel it, but we'll worry about that when we get there. So he can't use his spirit powers. That's not what we use Hadhod for anyway. And to be fair, that's completely fixable. And that's a problem. Okay, so he's completely useless at this point. This will prevent fear as well. Let's see, Stunning Strike. That's only if it hits. And he's immune to that effect anyway, which kind of sucks. Now she's silenced, but again, that's why we have Barathor here, because I believe leadership at no point ever counts as, to my knowledge, I don't think it ever counts against him, so to speak. You can't silence leadership skills, I think. Ooh, that blows. Put a wound on him. Start buffing away. Let's do this because he could just sap away all of our AP at any point. Like that. Did you not get Fellowship Grace going? Whatever. Got lots of long bottom leaf. Probably should have used this skill first to lower their armor. Remove the wounds. Then we'll use Stand Fast, and then we'll get Barathor attacking here. And pretty much this front line of enemies is our characters is pretty buffed. So we may as well check out the Uruks and then worry about numbnuts last. Just till we remove his armor. This is why we have the skills we have. Do 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 do. He's down. Actually, she's... You know what, let's bring in Morwinds, because Morwind can put poisonous wounds on, as well as twin wounds. And then we'll pull her right back out. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Die, Chucky. Yeah, you just see having those wounds on a boss is a good idea. I probably should have had her try to steal XP, but it's fine. It's not necessary. And we get Elfstone of Pure Light, which I think is a healing Elfstone. Third Age, Gold, I cannot pronounce that, so QC of Sanctuary, Elegostus, Dunedain Chainmail Halberg, Bearthor Third Age, Rohan Steel Royal Court Longsword. Nice.
The courtesy of this hall has diminished of late. The worm lives. He crawls away.
His power here is broken.
So is much of Snowborn. But what survives is because of you. I owe you much. We cannot tarry here. We must reach the high road.
Go ahead and loot everything here. And Eowyn. Eowyn? I don't have an Eowyn. What the hell's that all about? Oh boy. Alright, Polish Elfstone of Water Protection. Can't recollect any character having an issue with water protection right now. Let's take a look at 58 to 49. Nice. It really ends up being a nice thing to just put on somebody if you need something for them to do. It's not one of their skills. That's the tricky thing. It needs to be a character who is fast. So to be fair, Morrowind is a good option for something like that. Because literally what I just said. The idea being that it would be useful for her. There's a piece of armor. 61 to 20, 22 to 61. Oh boy. But it makes him vulnerable to. Well, no, that makes him vulnerable anyway. So that's a big necessary. The idea is that she's fast enough. She can recover her own AP. She is. That's in a sense why she's a good candidate for that stone. As far as skills with it go, though, is another story. Oh. And again, that's a thing. It's just a thing, you know. It's like, yeah, it's something she can do. Gives her something to do. And if you look at it, Aura of Life, which is an HP bonus, is kind of useless. Haste of the Elves is useful. Power of the Valor, Drain Spirit, although we can already do that. Immobilizing an enemy does damage to them over time is nice, and you know, just abilities that there's a few abilities in there that nobody gets, which is it's similar to the Shadowfell one, but in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of nice to have on a fast character like Morwen, and a character who can make themselves fast. And because I've always gotten this feeling that you can stack haste, this is just another way she can stack haste on herself. She can cast haste on herself, battle haste, and then she can immediately turn around and cast haste of the elves. I don't think it really stacks. A part of my brain wants it to. And we'll maybe fiddle around with that theory later. But it is kind of funny.
I hope this road proves safer than these villages.
No part of this land is safe while Saruman schemes in Orthanc.
We must not delay. If my family took this trail, they are in great peril.
I don't want to see another scene. As you see, we're back into tunnels.
Has long sheltered travelers when they camped in these mountains. Yes, Dunharrow and Helm's Deep still harbor ancient treasures.
What remains there is meant for others, she-elf. It is not your affair.
Hold your hate, both of you. This belongs to my mother. I know it from childhood. Mother said it kept the Lord of the Nazgul away. Father always laughed at that. I fear now I enter their tomb.
Or perhaps ours, lady. The wargs await us.
Thanks, Hadhod. Okay, clearly we gotta bring in Elagos at this point and start using him a bit more often. Just out of curiosity, can he one-shot a warg? Yes, he can. So now having two plausible healers in the party, we're good. And one of them being faster than the other. And yeah, I believe now Elagos is the furthest behind in level, which is fine. I just want to make sure it's actually come to pass. 45, yeah. So he's the furthest behind, which means he's got to be the leader. Let's move. So he's a little more he's a little more resistant than he was before. They're making him more feasible and usable, but to what extent? Oh boy. Let's flash. Oh. Looks like it missed missed one of them, the archer. one I'm the least worried about. Wow, Whiff City. Try one more time. There's all three. When you think about it, AoE wise, he does like 5,000 or 6,000 damage if there's enough enemies to warrant the AoE. But at the same time, it's like, that's neat trick, but is it really that useful? When you need to take enemies out more, more together than you do apart. Or no, you need to take out characters more individually than as a group. Because you'll never do enough damage to sit there and make the admittance that oh, look at what we did, blah, 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 blah. I did all this damage and did all this cool stuff, right? To multiple enemies, but then I'm being attacked by multiple enemies. It's one of those fallacies that it works in MMOs to a degree, but it also doesn't work in MMOs. And that's if you focus your attacks on, in theory, the original way is you focus your attacks on the weakest enemies, you cake them out, and then you start dealing on the big bad. In some MMOs, you don't do that. It just depends on what you're doing, but that applies to almost any RPG game to some degree. Focus try to focus the majority of your offense on taking overall less damage. Third Age Bronze Felling Axe. So after just getting an axe for Morrowind, we get another axe. On Third Age, Rohirric Bronze Felling Axe. Now, it's 33 plus 3 versus 29 plus 3. So, yeah, we'll take it. It's ever so it'll wedge out a little bit more damage from her. And a mild cost of other things, but nothing so breakingly awful that it's the end of the world. Okay. May as well do this, too. I think we grabbed every chest over there. Yeah. Oops. Let me get hung up. Probably have to fight another army of orcs. No. This time they give me an army of Urukai led by an orc. But I'm gonna murder his face. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. No casting for you. Ooh, this can hurt. Okay, let's actually go right into Lightcraft. Yeah, it's about as good as her stealing health in a way. But it'll unlock other skills, so there's a reason for her to do it. Putting it on himself. There we go. No attack for you. at this point. We gotta bring in somebody else. Get a lot of spam calls all the time. It drives me nuts. Alright, see the problem is I have to be able to know I'm getting called for work. Let's go with aim shot. Probably his strongest single target anyway. Strangely enough. Every once in a while we get to throw a fireball. As much effort as that was, we got very little XP. It's always frustrating. But it is what it is. We shall make the save. Let me see here. Just double checking some skills. We should be... Okay, he's a little further along, but not quite there. He's halfway to learning Spirit Cleave. She's doing her thing. She's almost got Paralyzing Wounds down, which is great. Then we can pick up Stunning Cleave here. Unless they're willing to give us Wrath of the Penmark. Stunning Strike. You know, he's going to work on that as he does. Captain's Inspire is getting there. We're about 38, 37? No, 30... 38 away or so. Something like that. So that's getting there. Yeah, so moving along slowly, but we're going to have something that kind of holds us back here, coming up here in a little bit. And I figure we may as well just get to that moment before making a thing out of it. Dinner time! Morwen in there. Solves that problem. And character Eowyn is somehow with us. Rohirrim Banded Leather Helm, Third Age Dread Orc Blade of Mordor.
You are more than a warrior, my friend.
You know us, lady. I am of Rohan's royal guard. The outlying villagers have been warned, so I now journey to Helm's Deep with you.
And so we get a character named Eowyn. Not to be confused with Theoden. We need his dexterity to be higher than where it's at. Big time. Same with his speed. You notice his strength and spirit's actually pretty good. Everything else is kind of in the gutter. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Let's take a look at his skills and his gear, but let's do his gear first. Rohirrim Iron Pauldrons, which is going to be better than what he's got, because he doesn't He's got some. It's weird that they gave us equipment for him before he was even in our party. Kind of funny thing there. And a leather helm. He has no helmet on, so this is clearly going to be better. Now let's look at his skills, because what's the point of having all these different characters? Well, he has spirit powers, but it's not what you think. Let's take a look here. He's learning Invigorating Blow, a greatly damaging melee attack that also hastens the enemy. So it's a strong attack that allows the enemy to be hastened. So what he can do. His battle skill allows melee attacks to ignore the enemy's armor rating, so that's already really good. Horse Lord Skewer, more powerful melee attack. Enraging Blow, a damaging attack that converts some damage into action points for the enemy. So a lot of it seems like he does a lot of damage, and in return he gives the enemy a benefit sometimes. So this allows him to strike twice. Wrath of Aeterus allows him to strike 3 times. Rampage of the Helm 5 times. Let's learn these skills here, I would say. And here's this. This strikes twice. This strikes 3 times. The only reason it might make sense to get Rohirrim Rage first is I think the slowdown is less. So we'll do it in that order for now. Let's look at his spirit powers here, because this is a different, more interesting one. He drains HP. He drains action points. Transfers some of Aiden's HP to other party members. Converts some of Aiden's own health HP into action points. Removes all enemy enhancements from a single foe, so that's really good. So he's the first guy who actually learns Dispel outright. Decreases an enemy's AP pool. That's actually pretty good. All casters, if you decrease their pool enough, they become harmless, pretty much. Transfer some of Aiden's defense to another party member. Transfer some of Aiden's action points to another party member. Prevents an enemy from using any spirit power attacks for a short time. This is really good against casters. Lowers an enemy's ardor. Increases Aiden's by the same amount. Causes everyone in the party to convert health into action points, so it really just, if you need that AP. And there's going to be enemies who wipe out your AP right away, so the fact that he can do that doesn't make sense why. Enhance party to convert the damage from the next hit. Each takes into action points. Creates a shield around Aiden that reflects damage back to the enemy for a short time. Drains enemy health and transfers it to your group. That's actually probably one of his better skills. Drains HP and action points from an enemy over time. So a lot of what Aoden is, and this is the problem with Aoden, just out of the gate I can tell you the problem with Aoden. The problem with Aoden is that he is a very bizarre character as far as his skills sets go. All of his spirit powers are very much circumstantial, with a few exceptions. And because of this, it makes him kind of tricky to use. And it's tricky. Look at, he comes in at a higher level than everybody by about 3 to 5 levels, because right now Hadhod's the highest level. So he comes in at a higher level than anybody, so you're going to be reluctant to want to use him first, which is true. But we do want to learn his skills, specifically his spear skills first, which means lots of random encounters, lots of nonsense that you got to do to try to achieve a set of goals with him. And his spirit abilities are very hyper-specific good, whereas some of them are more circumstantial. The trick with using his spirit skills is you just dicking with the enemy and trying to somehow create an enemy that is too weak to really do anything. If we look at Aoden's skills one last time, you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, transfer some of Aoden's defense to another party member, that doesn't seem very useful. Decreases an enemy action points pool. That's actually pretty good. So the fact that they started him there is weird. You gotta learn one of these, though. So let's do Spirit Drought, because I'd rather him lower an enemy's AP pool. then you get to like Shattered Armor is pretty good. Silence Evil is pretty good. So these two are good. These two are iffy at best, but these two are very good. You get into here again. This is okay. Let me see here. This is meh, more situational. Battle Mirror is good. This one's pretty good. And then this one's pretty good. So there's a period here with him in spirit skills that these two skills just blow. And what you gotta do is work your way down into Silence Evil, Shatter Armor. Then you get two skills that are meh. Then you get two skills that are good, and then of course the last one. So there's a lot of awkward skills, but they're again. To reiterate, they're very situational, and it's really going to be up to your discretion to really decide what's worth using and what's not worth using. And it's, one of those things that's easier said than done. So, anyway, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ActarStudios for more live gaming action. And when we come back, we will have some more Lord of the Rings, the Third Age for you, because apparently we got to get to Helm's Deep, and we're not going to get there just, hanging out at the Rohan Plateau exit. So, anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys. We'll see you guys next time.